Hello, hello, hello. I have a couple pieces of good news to share with you in the first part of this video that apply to most everyone in my YouTube community. And then I'm going to tell you about a stock I think has major upside potential, especially in light of the White House's published focus over the next few years. By the way, before I get too deep into this video, I want to thank today's video sponsor, STRPF Mining. So the first update is a little bit of a mixed message. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said this week he wants to see President Biden forgive student loan debt and relieve the American people of these high payments. So for those of you who find yourself still waiting on the presidential promise of forgiving student loan debt, I wanted to let you know Chuck Schumer is once again, with the passage of the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, putting that pressure on President Biden to keep that promise. Those payments will resume in early 2022. Chuck Schumer also said he wants Biden to tap into the U.S. oil reserves to immediately lower the price of gas and food for the American people. Schumer said between lowering gas and the price of food and student loan debt monthly payments, these would be excellent holiday gifts from President Biden. He said he plans to up his pressure on the president and make this happen for the American people. Now, here's where the messaging gets a little bit mixed. Schumer said we need immediate relief at the gas pump. And the place to look is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I'm urging the administration to tap that reserve, get the prices down, and then we have to embark on a full-time campaign to get away from carbon fuels altogether. So essentially, Chuck Schumer wants to help the people, but he's also being crystal clear that once these reserves are dried up, he wants to do a full court press campaign to get rid of big oil and carbon fuel altogether. Now, I'm all for clean energy. In fact, I own an electric car and I have solar power panels on my house. But I can see how this could lead to higher gas prices down the road and a huge percentage of people that can't afford to buy an electric vehicle, let alone power them over time. So Congress needs to start thinking in terms of transitioning over time versus systematically forcing big oil into bankruptcy while prices go higher, while about 95% of the country is still driving gas-powered cars. So again, I saw this as good news on the student loan debt, potentially lowering gas prices and food prices, but it did come with some mixed messaging that I wanted to share with you. What we don't want to do is put the cart before the horse, right? Then it won't move in the direction we want. Okay, now the next piece of news is buried within the Build Back Better stimulus bill, but no one's really talking about it. And this is the renewal of the $7,500 tax credit for electric vehicles and a new addition from Biden, a $4,500 electric vehicle tax credit if you buy from an American-made electric vehicle made by a union-backed manufacturer. So in other words, General Motors, GMC, Ford, etc. Basically everyone in the United States except for Tesla. So in the future, if you want an electric car, then I wanted to share with you that the federal government is going to be giving huge incentives and financial help to buy an electric car, and they're going to even make the deal sweeter if you'll buy from a union-based car maker here in the States. Now, I know many in the community would benefit from lower gas prices, but do you think that Congress should be focused on putting big oil out of business overnight? Or should it be something that we move towards over time? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, I'd like to know, would these tax credits of $7,500 for any electric car or $7,500 plus an additional $4,500 for a total of $12,000 in tax credit help. Would those help you buy an electric car in the future? Or is the Biden administration putting financial help in the wrong place right now? Please, I'd like to hear from you. I love reading your comments, so please let me know. Would this be helpful to you, or is the Biden administration's financial help focused in the wrong direction at this time? I would love to hear from you. Now, according to many news sources, electric vehicle sales have more than doubled in the last year. In some models, they account for 5% of new sales, and in other models, upwards of 20% of new sales. So electric vehicles are becoming more and more popular. Now, in order to fulfill the changes coming to our country, we're going to need base metals. Also, with the amount of money being printed and the dollar losing value, many analysts are expecting gold and silver prices to rise again in 2022, despite the new popularity of digital coins like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And here's why. If the power goes down or the internet goes off, you still have your metals, and those metals still have their value. So there is still value in gold and silver, and they believe it will rise in 2022, according to analysts. Now, I want to tell you about STRPF's mining stock, ticker symbol STRPF, which can be found on most major platforms like TD Ameritrade or E-Trade or Fidelity, any of the big brokerage houses. As of the filming of this video, STRPF's mining is trading at $1.56 a share. But first, I want to tell you about the neighboring mine. The mine right next door to STRPF's, which is owned by Amex Exploration. Well, Amex Exploration stock used to trade at 9 cents a share until they hit a massive vein of gold. Then, upon announcing this big load of gold, their stock jumped to $3.09. Now, you're thinking, $3 doesn't seem like a big jump, Stephen. But remember, when it comes to stocks and money, percentages are what matter. So this stock, upon hitting gold, jumped over 3,000%. Now, when the owners of STRPF Mining heard this and saw this, they purposely and strategically bought the mining property right next door. Now, one of the best ways to find gold is to already have found gold. So they're just going right to where they know there's gold in the ground. So they know there's gold in the area from geologists and professionals and imaging from above. In fact, the professional geologist hired by STRPF says that this region is loaded with gold, silver, iron, nickel, titanium, niobium, copper, and zinc. So while they drill for gold, they will also be pulling out all of the best-selling base metals at the same time. Now, I thought niobium was a made-up word, right? I had to look it up. But as a fun side note, niobium is a metal used in rockets, missiles, and pipes that transfer natural gas, just to name a few. So think about that. The demand for those is only going up right now. So niobium is going to be even more in demand than it is right now. Now, a few years ago, STRPF Mining was trading for 20 cents a share. I wish I had told you about it then, right? But I'm telling you about it now. But as they've opened mines and found minerals and base metals, their stock has moved up to $1.56 a share, which is a 600% gain. However, the group thinks their best years are still ahead of them, and I do too. Here's why. The thing that caught my eye most as I researched was the leadership team and the mining experience those running the company have. For example, the chairman, Jonathan Moore, has over 20 years of experience extracting resources from the earth in North America and over in Europe. But the one that caught my attention most was the geologist, Dr. Jacques Trottier. He works for the Amex Exploration Group and helped them map the ground for their successful drills. Well, Dr. Trottier was actually so excited about what they're finding at Star Peak Mining that he's actually joined the board of Star Peak Mining and is helping as a geologist. So he now has serious skin in the game for helping Star Peak Mining find those big pockets of minerals and base metals. Plus, Dr. Trottier has 30 years of experience being a geologist at over a dozen mines all over the world. In fact, he used to be the CEO of Soledad Exploration down in Peru, where they extracted over 3 million ounces of gold and were then purchased by a bigger mining operation once they hit that gold. Now, Star Peaks Mining is in a similar position. As they find gold, their stock will grow. As they hit bigger loads of base metals, their stock could soar. And all the meanwhile, larger mining groups are on the lookout for smaller groups finding the resources they want and need. So think about big oil, for example. Did you know that Chevron has grown as big as it has, not because it finds oil in the ground, but because it buys smaller groups that already found oil in the ground. So they buy once the resource is determined, right? So that's a huge potential play in the future. So this is what I think could happen with Star Peak Mining. They are sitting on a mineral and base metal rich piece of land next to another stock company that hit a big load and saw their stock absolutely skyrocket. And they are in a position to be taken over in the future if the numbers look right. So you don't have to throw on your old worn out Levi's and head to the river to pan for gold. You can look into buying this mining stock that is sitting on a tremendous amount of potential. And the ones running the company above ground have decades of experience in mining, profit making, and buyouts. So just a great opportunity that I wanted to bring to your attention. Now, I'm curious, had you heard of Star Peak Mining before this video? Let me know in the comments. Again, the stock can be found on most major platforms like TD Ameritrade or Fidelity under the ticker symbol STRPF. Now, you'll want to do your own research, but hopefully this video gave you some insight into how I research stocks, the leadership team, and look for the potential. What is the upside of this particular company so that you know your exit strategy or how your money might rise? I also wanted to let my community know that I'm right now working on a video that will financially help nearly 100% of the people that follow me. It's a little trick I use with my private financial coaching clients. And it's a great way to build an emergency fund or a nest egg that can use compound interest over time to build a big pool of money that you could rely on later in life. I'll be releasing that video here in a few days. I'll also continue to keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C. and the U.S. economy. This information is valuable because what the government does can help you or hurt you. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, please give it a like and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Also, what stocks do you own right now that are doing really, really well? And perhaps they'll be one of my future money videos. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.